Welcome to the video blog. This is going to be a very different entry than the previous ones, especially considering the last couple. You know, this is only been like the fourth video I've done. This video is a one in memory of, and I don't like doing these. And if I did in memory of every person who I knew, who I loved, or was close to me, or who I respected or stuff, I'd be doing these a lot. And I just may, run down a list one day of people who, meant something to me, or how they touched me and everything. But today is just about a wrestler who was centered in Texas, but he had the potential to be all over the world. A wrestler named Spiro, real name Cameron Bates. I didn't know his real name until recently. Of course, I was always just a fan of his. It's about some of the first times I ever saw Spiro. First time I ever saw Spiro was in River City Wrestling, RCW, and when he walked from behind the curtain, it was like, it looked, we joked he looked like Triple H's younger brother, so much so that we actually called him Nipple H for like, I don't know, a solid year. I think we got on his last nerve calling him that, but he was always a good sport. He was one of the few wrestlers who never really so much talked back at us, but just gave us that look, that stare of his. I remember that stare because Spiro could stare. I think he could stare down a speeding truck if he had to, because he had like one of those serious stares. And like, he even one time, let's call him Nipple H, he even teased doing a pedigree to a guy one time. He actually butterflied the guy's arms, but then just threw him to the side and just shook his finger and shook his head. It was pretty hilarious. It was one of those few times I remember him actually like being comical. And not to say that he, didn't have any personality, because he did. Spiro was a great guy, and he was a good sport. I mean, he was one of the guys I didn't like talk to a lot outside the shows, but when I did talk to him, he was a pretty cool guy. Yeah, and I've been reading on Facebook, all the guys who say they just learned so much from him, and the guys who said they were just gonna miss having him as a friend around, and I didn't know him as a friend. I'm not a trained wrestler. I don't know him as a wrestler. I mean, as like a trained person. I knew him from the standpoint of a fan looking at and admiring this guy's work. That's how I knew Spiro. That's how I knew him. I didn't know his real name or anything like that. And I'm not sad about any of that. I'm not sad that I didn't know his real name, or hung out with him like I do with some other wrestlers. That's cool. I don't have to hang out with every wrestler. I just respected the heck out of this guy. Spiro is a hard worker. He had the build of a hard worker. I mean, the guy was cut like ridiculously. And I always wondered, my biggest question was, with guys like him, there are several guys on the independent circuit just like him, who I've always asked, why haven't they made it big? Spiro was one of those guys I always asked that question about. So it was a real shock when I heard of his passing. It was almost like one of those things where you hear over the internet, you're hoping it's a rumor, you're hoping it's not real. And even when you find out it is real, you're hoping you go to sleep at night, you wake back up in the morning, and it was just all a horrible dream. Like I said in the Facebook comment, I've had a lot of those this past year. But Spiro is the guy I'm gonna miss. I hadn't seen him wrestle, in a while. Doesn't mean that I didn't want to see him wrestle. I just probably hadn't been in the promotion he was currently at. That's my bad. I missed out on seeing some more of his good work, man. Because guy was a real wrestler. He was tough. You could tell how tough he was. He was just, in the ring, just like he was intense. He was. Oh, man. He's just a cool guy. So, my prayers are with his family, his friends, everyone who knew him, And us fans still we're missing out on this great guy who, was a great talent, fantastic talent, phenomenal talent. And just as a fan, I don't even, not even, like I said, not knowing him personally or anything like that, as a fan, I am really gonna miss him. I am really, really sad to hear of his passing. So, like I said, to his family, friends, my prayers are with all you guys. I can't even say I know what you're going through, but You know, as a person who's lost people who are near and dear to my heart, I know it's not easy. I'm praying for you all. And just, you know, I just hope when you lose someone, I hope you know that, you know, this was someone, you know, just never forget the memory. This was someone special. Just never forget the memory. You know, I know it's sad. I'm not even going to pretend that it's not. I mean, matter of fact, it's pointless to pretend that it's not. So, yeah. Spiro, just as a fan who would sit and just love to see you get to see you wrestle. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the good times. To everyone, see you soon.